Welcome back to the CONVO Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And it's Sunday Fun Day, and we know there's so many people online today that we figured we'd get on. Instead of waiting to talk about the Tulsi stuff tomorrow, we figured we'd hit it with it today. So, fam, controversial tweet. Let's break it down. I'll get it up for you right there, my bad.
Man, I first of all, let me just start by saying that I think people need to take a step back and stop reacting emotionally to every single tweet a politician says or does, myself included. You know, sometimes it's easy to fall into that kind of like reactionary mode where you read something and it's like, oh, I can't believe she said this. She's canceled. And it's like, come on, guys, like, let's take a step back and look at things from a different perspective. So we're going to give you all the information. We had a poll that we asked you guys how you felt about her tweet because it was controversial for many people. And so we're going to just kind of go over the whole thing. So first, fam, we have Tulsi's tweet. You want to go ahead and read the first part?
It says, Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden did not celebrate or coddle segregationists. His critics have unfairly misrepresented his important message to score cheap political points. I agree with Jim Clyburn of South Carolina and Joe Biden. In order for Congress and the president to get things done for the American people, there needs to be civility in Washington and in the country. The ability to work with those who we disagree with, even those who hold some views which we abhor. How do you say it?
Abhor.
In order for Congress to work for the American people, we need to find common ground with each other. This is not possible without civility. We don't need another president who's going to continue to divide our country. We need a president who will unite us. United we stand, and divided we fall.
And then she added something else to her Facebook, which Johnny pointed out really well. And she said, as a woman of color, it would have been easy and politically advantageous for me to join the effort to destroy Joe Biden's reputation / candidacy by portraying him as a touchy-feely womanizer pervert and the present effort to portray him as a racist. But I did not and will not do that because I have a conscience. Also, I believe in the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We need to stick to the issues, not carry out campaigns of personal vilification. Okay.
Can you say that well? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Thank you.
Basically, that's her whole, that's been her whole stance the whole time. Like, she's been talking about service before self and all of this. So, also, let me just put for context, we have the pictures of Joe Biden. I don't know if you got it. I put it in the
You got the letters.
The letters. Sure. I'll give you 1 second.
Well, I mean, that question is, too, did he coddle or celebrate? I mean, that's a big question right there, too, as well, fam. So it's right in the beginning.
Yeah, maybe,
it's right after.
Maybe you just need to refresh, but
you just might pass it. Right
there it is. Okay, so let me just kind of start talking about this letter. So basically, this was a letter that he
1977,
sent, and he said, "I want you to know that I very much appreciate your help during this week's committee meeting in attempting to bring my anti-busing legislation to a vote. I am hopeful that the bill can be voted out on the next meeting, and with your assistance, I am confident there is sufficient support for approval by the committee. Again, many thanks for your help." This is
So what is this exactly, fam?
This is just showing that he is working with segregationists to keep the anti-busing. Then there's this other letter where he specifically says, "Mr. Chairman, you will recall the last fall you supported this bill, and I authorized to limit the use of busing as a remedy in school desegregation cases. Bill and I plan to attach S-1651 as approved by the Judiciary Committee as an amendment to S-1753 when that bill to extend the elementary and secondary education. This is as soon as it comes up for consideration by the full Senate." So he's pretty much telling the segregationists, your support is essential to have this bill reported by the Judiciary Committee. I want to personally ask your continued support and alert you to our intentions. Your participation in the floor debate would be welcome. So he's working with them and kind of reaching common ground as far as segregation goes. Yeah. That is a problem because obviously segregation was the wrong side of history. Standing for that is completely on the wrong side of history. And I know it's something that we can easily a lot of people have feelings about. I know Nico House, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I know that he did not like this tweet. And there are many reasons for that, many reasons that we need to understand. But the fact of the matter is that Joe Biden is a segregationist. He has had racial. I mean, to me, he's a racist, but I can't really prove that. But from his actions, I've shown the racial bias that I see in him. And why make a tweet like right now, right in front of the debates? It's just like politically, it's not something smart to do.
Let's talk about that real quick, because you're saying it's not politically smart, and that's what I thought. We talked to Nico too. He felt the same way. First of all, I want to say what's up to some of our people in the audience on a Sunday. It's so great to see you, Learned Hand. The one who knocks, Senator Stern but fair. I love that writer. Ghostwriter Duef, and Ruben Masagwa, who just said Tulsi should have left that alone. So
I agree.
There goes Ruben kind of agreeing with a lot of us, and that was like kind of what I felt. We said we get reactionary, we see a post, and that was the whole thing, was like, what? WTF? What are you doing? Why are you even saying this? Of all people, you are kind of like, protecting Joe Biden. And make no mistake of it, I think Tulsi's wrong. I think right here is evidence that Joe Biden did coddle. I don't know if he celebrated. I think he was more like pandering to people for money. That's what he did with the crime bill and stuff. He was always pandering for money. He was being a politician back in 1977. Not excusing it, but he did coddle. So I think Tulsi was wrong about that. But before we got to get into it, I think I just want to say reactionary right off the bat. I said the same thing. But what if, fam, she's trying to be this like independent, left-leaning kind of Donald Trump mentality where she says what's on her mind all the time. She doesn't hold back her punches. So if she feels that Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris were using this for political gain, which we'll get into once we start reading the tweets, why shouldn't she just say it?
Right.
A lot of people think she lost a lot of support on the left, and we know people in our bubble who are like, oh, that's it. That's the end. Sky's falling.
But they were looking for a reason to cancel her.
But you even said yourself when you were kind of correcting me, fam, you're like, no, there are some people that this is going to hurt her.
There are some people that
were on the fence.
There are some people that actually did donate to her campaign that said we will stop donating. And I get it. But to me, a tweet has very little importance to me in comparison to action. So let's go back to the tweet. Okay. Because the one thing she did mention was that we need to stand united. We need to come together as a country. United we stand, divided we fall. Bernie Sanders echoes this message time and time again. In fact, Bernie Sanders has talked about Joe Biden being his friend.
He said Joe Biden is my friend.
He said it multiple times.
To
he did a tweet praising warmonger John McCain as also a hero and his friend. Yeah. I had a huge problem with that. He didn't speak out against Assange, and Tulsi did on Twitter, whatever it is. But I think there's a little bit of hypocrisy, because why did Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris all of a sudden start talking about this? They've known Joe Biden for years.
Yeah.
They've been working with him for years. All of a sudden, they just hop out and start jumping on this whole wagon. It is for political gain. That's what she is right about.
Yeah.
They're totally doing this to manipulate that. And unfortunately, in my opinion, she kind of fell for it, because it's now.
Well, she took the bait.
She's now turning, like, they're now saying, oh, she's not as progressive as Warren, and that's ridiculous.
I'm so sorry to cut you off, fam, but could you go to my tweet real quick when I say this, and when fam just said, just go to my Twitter.
Sure, I gotta find it, but real quick.
Yes.
Can I clarify what in the tweet that she made? She said Warren, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden did not celebrate or coddle segregationists. So what she's referring to is when Joe said
right, the video. I wish we could have found it.
I couldn't find the video. I'm still looking for it, but I found the article, and he said where is it? He said he was recalling back in 1978.
Yeah.
I
thought I just had it right here.
Oh, right there. Biden said, go up the other way. It says Biden said.
Oh, okay. He says, I was in a caucus with James O. Eastland.
Yeah.
He never called me boy. He always called me son. I didn't like that.
That was a stupid and a very racist remark to make.
Biden said Wednesday, the point I'm making is you don't have to agree. You don't have to like people in terms of their views, but you just simply make the case and you beat them.
But you're right. You're right. She here's the thing. Her tweet, it was too out of context, because she's speaking from a place where we think that she thinks we know what she's referencing.
Yeah.
And of course, we all are applying it to Joe Biden's entire history. as a segregationist. And that's what people are doing. Her tweet without context looks really bad. But once you put in the context, she's directly, specifically talking about that.
Yeah.
And this isn't, I'm not trying to like excuse what, because I think it's a bad tweet.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I still think that she was directly referring to that because that's what's been played around. Now, I think that Joe Biden saying that is completely like he's completely elusive to how it comes off. I mean, Joe Biden, no excuses for him, but he comes from a different time where he might have been more progressive back then, the more progressive guy. And it's kind of sad to think about.
He might have been less war.
Bernie Sanders was continuously speaking out against what he was saying all the time. And so I think the fact that Joe Biden didn't realize that, even though there's no excuse, obviously this is how he's grown up, is what she's referring to. She's saying in that moment he didn't coddle these people. And I think that was completely out of context. She should have, that's what I meant. She should have clarified with everything else.
Well, you know when they say that thing, fam, a little late to the party, and if you could put up my quick tweet real quick, and I said this, it's funny how now that Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren never called out Joe Biden when he was Barack Obama's VP, okay? His segregations go back over 30 years ago, and that's where they're referring to 1977 back then. Wait a minute. Not a single one of you who are now so vocal against Tulsi Gabbard ever said shit back when Barack Obama was making this man the second most powerful human being on the face of the fucking planet. But all of a sudden now you want to talk about the issues because you're using it for political gain. And Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Elizabeth Warren are guilty as hell when it comes to pandering for votes.
And let me just add that I think Cory Booker was actually being sincere in how he felt. But I think it's very interesting to see the timing of all of this right now. Yeah. Like the timing of it coming out right now. And it's kind of funny because at the end of the day, Biden, Harris, Booker, Warren even, they're all like more aligned politically. Let's remember that Tulsi Gabbard is more of an independent thinker. She stepped down from power to help Bernie Sanders. She's definitely not, she's not taking corporate money at all. She's not funneling that through her. Like she's calling them out. I think it's pretty savage. She's calling them out.
She is.
Have you ever seen, a person like calls the establishment out like that?
Yeah.
I haven't.
No.
I think that's a pretty savage thing.
Really quick, I just want to get to some before you get to your tweets, fam, because we're talking about savage. We're going to talk about your tweet coming up. Learned Hand, thank you so much. Satvik has joined the crowd. It's awesome. Nicholas Lawless, we love you guys. Guys, remember on the MCSC network, we got SoCal, Leon Powell, Christopher Loonley. There's so many of you people, 220 of you watching on a Sunday. We love you. We would appreciate if you go on over to our YouTube and subscribe. We have a Twitter. And what we're doing today is kind of new. We're going to play with some of what you guys said. Fam, let's get to your tweet. What you put up there the other day, and this is some good shit, peeps. Go ahead.
I said, look, half of the left has a tendency to cry wolf and call everyone a racist. Even Bernie Sanders has spoken about this. We cannot continue to assume that every single Republican is a racist or that every person who voted for Trump is racist. So I agree with Tulsi's sentiment. That said, Biden has introduced and pushed very racist legislation that's ultimately led to the detriment of millions of people. There's no defense of him. His actions and policy show where he stands. I do not think going out on a limb for him is a good idea without mentioning that. Which, again, it goes back to we needed to mention context. We needed to mention, I don't agree with Joe Biden's stances, but I still think this is being manipulated. Something like that. She could have totally said that. But the way it came off was defending a guy that's right now pretty much hated. Yeah. People hate him. They don't like him. Look, he has no chance of winning. Yeah. They think he's that much hated.
But it's like you said, within the context of what's going on, she's pointing at the simple, and I'm saying, fam, maybe she's getting ready for this debate. Maybe she's rearing up and go, oh, Liz Warren, don't even start, because now it's going to be put on Elizabeth Warren. Maybe she's doing some Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope mental game and getting in Elizabeth and Cory Booker's mind. Like, oh, now you're using it for political gain, and that might be on their mind on the debate. Maybe she has a plan. Maybe it is a political move that we don't know. Like, remember when they said that, and I used to love this one. I used to laugh. Trump is playing chess while the Democrats are playing checkers. I was like, no, you guys are both playing checkers, and you both suck. But, maybe she's setting something up right here. I don't know. She's kind of going after Warren, right?
She's going after Warren and Harris. You notice she didn't mention Bernie Sanders, even though Bernie Sanders agreed that Biden should apologize. But that's all Bernie Sanders said. He hasn't been manipulating the whole thing like Warren and Harris have nonstop been talking about it.
Yeah.
And also, there's been a lot of surge, quote unquote, regarding Warren. And now people are saying that Bernie is sexist and saying sexist things and against her, which is entirely false.
Yeah.
And they're manipulating this whole thing. And I think it's really interesting to see the centrist reactions who support Biden. Now they're probably like scratching their head. They're like,
what the F is
Tulsi?
going on?
Huh? They're like probably so confused.
Shit, what do we do?
There's a reason why tweets aren't endorsements, though, and there's a reason why you can't literally just look at what politicians say. You have to look at what they do.
Yeah, their policy means everything,
Their
right?
policy means everything, and Bernie and Tulsi both may like Biden in some. You have to work with these people, and I think we don't understand that as people on the outside.
Yeah.
I think once you have to work with people, you have to work with people you don't like all the time, right? In
Yeah.
real life, so. Hey, man, you're going to have some sort of relationship with them, which sucks. But some of these people are vile. But what are you going to do? What good does it do to trash talk these people constantly? And you've noticed Bernie hasn't done it either. So,
well, let's get to some of these tweets.
Yeah.
But really, fam, just one quick question. Because my overall arcing message was, and after I broke my silence, is, not crazy about the tweet. Not crazy about the twiming. But it's, it's all about, it's nothing to do with policy here. Yeah. And when people say, oh my God, I agree with Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren more than I agree with Tulsi, it's like, no, you do not.
Or they're more progressive than Tulsi based on one tweet. That's ridiculous.
Because here we go. We got Elizabeth Warren, who openly supports regime change in Venezuela, which openly supports sanctions, which kill almost 50,000 to 100,000 kids right now, mostly kids of color. Okay, that's racist.
Where's your
as
outrage
AF.
there? Where's your outrage there?
Yeah, there's no
I just
and the green
know.
bombs.
Where's your outrage
It's
there?
okay?
Does it only matter because they're American? Like, come on, let's not be hypocrites.
And Kamala Harris, fam, listen. This is why we're gonna go back out. We just broke out a video from almost 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and put it up, and it's got some likes. We chopped it up. We're gonna have to do the same thing again about Kamala Harris, fam. Her policies. How many people of color did she put in jail? She didn't help. She wasn't tough on crime. She was tough on black people, okay? She believed in 3 strikes. She refused to release people from prison after they were proven innocent. They had to get pressured for this stuff. She was just awful. Her policies are beyond racist. 3 strikes she fought for family.
Yeah, exactly. This is why she's not popular even in California. This is why many people of color, especially the black community, do not support her in her own city. They call her out on this because they know what she did.
Yep.
And to say that just all of a sudden because Kamala Harris says something nice and speaks really well about Cory Booker and capitalizes on the fact that Biden is really, he's a backward segregationist guy. I do not like Biden at all.
No.
I honestly dislike. I think he's worse than Trump in some instances regarding foreign policy, but to use that and manipulate that is what the Democratic Party does, and they're really good at.
Maybe Tulsi feels that Biden can't win it. You know what I'm saying? And for her, it's more important for her to go for a punch after Elizabeth Warren right now than it is Joe Biden.
You know what?
Think about that.
That's an interesting point. What do you guys think about that? Let us know in the comments. Johnny, do you have the poll? We wanted to show the poll. Our poll is more representative of
than CNN and MSNBC.
They only have like 300 people and only
talk about the choices here.
The choices?
It says, okay, I can just show you real quick.
Let's see if you have it. Oh, right okay. So we have the choices. It says, how do you all feel about Tulsi's comment? We will discuss your answers today. And then, I don't care at all.
Which
bad
is the top
tweet,
one?
But politics, people are hypocrites, or she's done. And so for this poll, if we have the results, let's see.
I don't even know how you click on the results. 17 retweets, 42 likes, a lot of votes, 558 votes, guys. Go to our Twitters. Fam's got one. We got one. You can see what won.
The highest one was bad tweet, but politics.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
That's
me too.
Where I'm at.
That's where I'm at. I don't care at all is the second highest one.
She's done.
People are hypocrites. That was just a funny one. And then she's done. There is a percentage of people that reacted emotionally and were like, okay, she's done. That's it. She's canceled. She's out of my book. I can't believe she said that, blah, 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 blah. But the majority of these people I noticed weren't really hardcore like Tulsi supporters. They were pretty much looking for any reason to cancel her. They saw her as a threat to Bernie Sanders, even though we know the threat to Bernie Sanders is actually Elizabeth Warren. And I think this is kind of, I do have Tulsi people on that follow me, but I also have a lot of Bernie people and a lot of just regular people that don't necessarily like her.
Well, we got neoliberals that follow us just to kind of troll us sometimes. You're getting
So
worse than me,
it's
fam.
kind of a decent representation in my opinion, but I mean, it's just a Twitter poll, but we wanted to see what you guys thought and kind of talk about some of your comments. So fam, you want to start with this
Let's
one?
get to these tweets here. And guys, if you have a chance, you can go to our Twitters. Fiorella's at Fiorella IM. We have at the CONVO Couch. Of course, we go at the MCSC Network. And I am at Yo Pasta. We're going to try to do this. We're going to get a little bit more interactive with you guys. So if you made this list here, then you got in Fam's good graces. Because Fam is savage, and it's very hard to impress her. Trust me, I cook for the woman. And even when I cook good, how's that salmon? Nah, it's all right. I've had better.
True, you guys.
She's appreciative. But what I'm saying is that she's not easily impressed. So congrats to you who made this the Twitter feed. So the first one, fam, here is bad tweet that has been grossly misinterpreted.
This is from Unity
4J
and the SES at Airwaves.
And defending the need to build consensus in Congress is not the same as defending Joe's racism. And why did this one excite you, fam?
Because I tend to agree with it. I think it's a nice summary. I think it's a bad tweet, but it's been misinterpreted. And I also think she's trying to build a unity and saying we need to speak to the other side, which is we do. The left, again, has a tendency to go rabid with whoever they disagree with and call them all a racist. And that's just not the case. Yeah. Bernie Sanders has gotten crap because he said something similar. And I think that's how you win the general. Yeah. You can't win the general by calling every single person who disagrees with you a racist. And I literally posted something about Trump defending Iran, or Trump getting us off of war with Iran, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is a good thing he's done. I can't tell you how many people were like, I can't believe you love Trump, you support Trump, you like Trump. I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, I cannot believe like the rabid, emotional, reactionary mind. Like, we have to stop doing that.
Yeah. Johnny, can you just maybe put up his I want to make sure people see his Twitter address before we go to the next one. Just nice and big. If you want to subscribe to Unity4J, hashtag NDSES, follow him, not subscribe. He's a good one. Let's get on to the next one. Terrence McNulty said she called out Elizabeth Warren for being afraid to campaign on issues. Warren said Joe Biden celebrated his relationship with segregationists. He actually said the guy was the meanest person he ever knew. Warren is pandering, and that's from Terrence McNulty. Yeah. Fam, why this one?
Because I think it sees right through what Warren is doing, what Harris is doing. They're pandering. Yeah. They've known this for a long time. They just decided to drop it. And that's what pisses me off most about these politicians. But they have something and then they decide to drop it at the right time. And I've seen it time and time again. Yeah.
It was almost like, I'm sorry, Dianne Feinstein with Kavanaugh. Yeah. She held on to that letter for weeks. And she said, well, I wanted to make sure everyone was protected. No, when you have that letter, you are obligated to bring it right then and there. That's my personal opinion. Did you want to do first name, last name?
Yeah, this is from,
The problematic part of Biden's comment, for me anyways, was him saying, he didn't call me boy. I mean, what the fuck? Of course he didn't. Why would he use racist comments towards you, Joe? It was a bizarre statement to make, and I could see why Cory was offended.
And I agree with that. I think that was the problematic part of Joe Biden's statement, that I think it doesn't mean like he's coddling segregationists in that statement, but it does mean that completely like tone deaf as to what the racial implications of saying that, because that is obviously a term used by white men on black men. And if you don't know that, you're completely like, you're ridiculous. You shouldn't be in public office.
I want to stop for 1 second. I want to go to the MCSC network. There's a guy named Jonathan Cherrett. He says Warren should not be in the same breath as Harris. Fam, wrong. Now, Jonathan, if you're watching, I'm going to say this. In this particular situation, in this context, you're so wrong. Warren's been pandering for votes all up and down this freaking country, okay? When we caught her in the Venezuelan thing, when she said she didn't know the camera was on her, she was pandering to somebody for votes, supporting regime change. So you're wrong. In this instance, yes, Warren might be a little bit more.
She's left of center.
Left of Kamala.
She's left of center, like of Kamala, but
in this instance, no.
In the world scheme, she's really not. Yeah. And she's in no way compared to Bernie Sanders. And I think a lot of people are trying to push that idea. And I'm just going to squash it right there. We've shown multiple times how she's pandered, not only to the third way, and Bernie has even called that out, but she's also been pushing charter schools. She's been pushing regime change. She's been funneling money through
Yeah.
the Senate campaign with corporate donors that are not progressive, that are not donating to Bernie Sanders. So, and she's copying Bernie's platform.
And before we go to the next tweet, oh, there it is. See right there? Just to remind you, remember, she was caught right there. Now, that is openly supporting regime change. That's openly saying it's okay to sanction people. Sanctions are an act of war. Sanctions hurt the poor people. Sanctions kill the children. Sanctions in South and Central America mostly kill people of color.
And those people, the ones who escape, come here. And now they're ending up in cages. So let's not be hypocrites. I feel like we have to continuously repeat this because the Democratic Party loves to cry about the kids in cages and they don't do anything to fix it. And as an immigrant, I get really pissed off about that.
Yes, you do. And just to reiterate real quick, and somebody said on the stream on the MCSC network, if you got a chance, go over to the Convo Couch YouTube. Help us out over there. We need some love. But Leon Powell said, Tulsi keeps talking about anti-war and media, and the fall progressives think it's no big deal. Hey, Leon, amen. Fam, let's get on to your next favorite tweet because you caught a couple good ones. These get really good. And thank you for going. Guys, go over to the Convo Couch Twitter. Like, share, and subscribe. Fiorella's got one. I got one. We're all there. We want to get you involved. Even Johnny Tsunami, a.k.a. Johnny Mallorca, has been hitting up the Twitter. Fam, you've been lit on it. What's the next one?
Her tweet is right in line with things she stood for the entire time. Honestly, she's made me think more about the Biden attack craze, and it made me realize that we shouldn't give a fuck about the guy his support is manufactured, and he's become a cheap punching bag to score. I agree, and this is from Bernard Brother, Eat Oligarchy.
I figured you love that name. Too. Eat the Oligarchy. Eat Oligarchy is anything like. But fam, what is he talking about this? You know what I'm saying?
He's also said political points. Tulsi always puts policy over personal attacks, and this has a lot to do with 90% of the criticism against her are personal attacks. We're on the brink of war with Iran. We have real issues that candidates aren't talking about. That's her point, I believe. And I think you can totally...
Bernard Brother. Amen.
A big picture. She's a big picture thinker, and sometimes when you are a big picture thinker, Bernie Sanders is one too, you sometimes... people don't think like that. So you have to clarify, though, because people are not always in the same wavelength as you in that regard. So.
Let me go over to the Facebook real quick before we read the next one. Thomas E. Youngs, we love you. Where you at? How you been? Mike Potwin giving this to doo-doo. Thank you, Mike Potwin. Gabriel Ramirez. Let's get something to eat. Let's go to happy hour sometime. I don't drink anymore, but I'll have a little happy hour nosh and you have a drink. If you don't know Gabriel Ramirez, go over to his site. This is my man. He's a delegate. He's not only a delegate, he was he's the highest voted delegate in that area. And I saw his speech. It's awesome. Gabriel Ramirez. Valerie Flanagan from Iowa. I love you, Valerie. Thank you so much. The Convo Couch loves your work. We got to talk more about what's going on in the Iowa caucuses.
Yes.
Because the Iowa caucuses are the first one. I love saying caucuses. But there's a virtual caucus going on beforehand.
Yes.
And there might be a little, what we call over here on the couch, fugaziness, fam.
Yes.
And by the way, I made this hot sauce, this hot marinara, and fam ate it like it was nothing. She's a dragon.
That's because it's not hot at all. You said it was hot marinara. The marinara's
oh my God.
not hot.
They couldn't even have it at the house. Johnny called me a goon
peppers
for making
by
it so
myself.
hot. Right? Danny Garcia, we love you. Let's get on to the next tweet. Thank you for participating. 33 people on the Convo Couch YouTube.
Nice.
We need more. There's almost 300 on Nico's channel on the MCSC network. We love you over there too. Donna for the People, Planet in Peace, at Donna Lynn, New Hampshire, NH. What did she say, fam?
I think Tulsi Gabbard is being misunderstood. She doesn't participate in partisan or identity politics games to score political posts. Her focus is to work with anyone, whether perfect, imperfect, friend, adversary, to help enact legislation to benefit people,
Boom.
planet, and peace.
Boom. One of my favorite tweets.
Right.
Boom.
Because Tulsi has actually, she's been criticized for working with people like, meeting with Modi, meeting with Assad. And so, she's going to have that same mentality when it comes to the people she works with. Yeah. And she's going to call out the personal attacks. And she's not one, even when people have like trash talked her, she hasn't really ever said anything bad against them.
And funny, when she met with Modi, she met with the opposition. When she met with Assad, she met with the opposition. The only alternative to not meeting what our adversaries or enemies is war. Right. And so for you people to still can continue to bring up the Modi stuff. And once again, I don't want to defend Modi, but he won his election. 400 million people. okay? And the poverty rate's been dropping like a toilet seat. And I don't want to get involved with talking about Modi, but I'm just going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. She had every right and was supposed to go meet him. And like I said, she met the opposition. It was a smart move.
That doesn't mean she's like tied to him and all this other stuff.
She takes money from him. Show me the receipts.
Please show me the receipts.
We got Bernie 2020.
This one I wanted to put because it's how some people feel. I'm disgusted and honestly embarrassed because I've stuck up for her so many times thinking that she was different. She's nothing but another centrist in disguise who happened to support Sanders in 2016.
That is bullshit.
So, yeah. And I mean, this is coming from a Bernie supporter, and some Bernie supporters are going to have this sentiment, and I get it. But I think being disgusted again by a tweet and letting one tweet sway your support, you probably weren't really there to begin with, and then this person shared the Intercept article from that writer who hates Tulsi. So it's just kind of like, come on, like Mike Thompson said, disappointing. Why did she feel the need to say anything? And I kind of agree with this. Like, why did she feel the need to say anything?
This out.
Like
at this time, before the debate,
right?
When you're supposed to be setting up to get a good spike. But once again, maybe she's getting. I think she's doing the rope-a-dope on Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, she's doing the rope-a-dope, bringing her in. Because go ahead, next one.
Didn't follow it closely. This is from Casey Sherman. But does she know that Biden had segregationist tendencies? Maybe I'm missing something, but it did not seem like Biden was actually reaching across the aisle like her tweet suggested. So, because again, her tweet is coming from a different person. She's coming directly about the issue, and she's not talking about his general thing. And so I think again, that's another. It just shows how we're. Really quick,
we got 42 on over to the Convo Couch YouTube. Thank you guys for helping us grow this channel. I feel like it was just yesterday we had 3 people on, and now it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And we've been paying a lot of attention to our YouTube over here, and we also just love the savagery of the MCSC network. And did I say it again? MCSC?
No, you said it right.
Sometimes I say MSNBC because I used to watch it all the time, and now it sucks. But
don't insult Nico.
We love you guys. We love the savagery, and we want to do the show for you on a Sunday, right, fam? Because Sunday's fun day, and we heard that there's a lot of people on YouTube looking for stuff. So we waited for the Bernie speech to be done, and then we came on after. And we want to thank you. If you get a chance, go over to our YouTube, The Convo Couch, like, share, subscribe. If you got a few extra bucks in the tank, there's a Patreon, and that's there. Who do we have over here on the Facebook? Allison Irvin just joined. Thank you. Come on in. The water is warm. Go over to The Convo Couch and leave a tweet on our Twitter, tweet, and we'll maybe respond back to you. Fam, what do we got next here?
This one is by
Kathy
Lambert. She said, I figure her standing for peace in Syria, Yemen, and Iran outweighs any reaction she had to Booker, de Blasio, and Biden. They were just making points, and she has better things to do with her time. So do we.
So
and
true.
I entirely agree. I mean, yes, again, the tweet was disappointing, but like there are bigger problems and bigger things to focus on and bigger things to really like cancel a candidate. And Elizabeth Warren, to me, was canceled the moment she pushed for regime change war, the moment she backed off Medicare for all. And
green bombs could be a good one, too. Like, now you're just pandering to both.
And I'm just like, how is that not more important to you than what she said and the pandering and the tweets or whatever it is? Like, I think we need to, I don't know, America has a problem looking, they love the platitudes, the symbolism, but they don't look at people's actions or the policy.
And the fact is, you got to give Elizabeth Warren some credit there. I've never heard anybody in my life try to pander to the military-industrial complex and Greenpeace activists at the same time. We need solar-powered bombs. I mean, that shit was good. And if that doesn't tell you all you need to know about Elizabeth Warren, then you need to look into the mirror. And I think we should celebrate right here. It doesn't make a difference. We are reactionaryist as Americans. We need to concentrate on one thing: policy. Yep. Policy. Come on, guys. Policy. MCSC. Policy. YouTube. All right. Sorry, fam.
But let me just say this. Bernie Sanders kind of called out the hypocrisy because he said in his speech today in South Carolina, he said we need to divest from the fossil fuel industry. It's not enough to just sit there and have a nice speech against climate change. He's like, we all know it's true, but we also need to be strong enough to not take money from the fossil fuel industry, to hold them accountable, to tell them we're not going to accept this anymore. And that's kind of like what Elizabeth Warren is doing, and Kamala Harris and all of these people. And Elizabeth Warren may be more progressive than the other establishment candidates, but she's still a status quo candidate. And that's my point. She's still a status quo candidate that may still not change. It's not a status quo candidate isn't going to change anything. They're going to continue operating under the capitalist system. And she said it many times.
Fam, I like the idea of green bombs. I can have my cake and eat it too. And all you peace activists can shut on up. Give me another one.
Another one. So you want to read this one?
Another tweet. The one right under? Which one?
She is...
Bree Mitchell. Oh, no, he doesn't want to miss Bree Mitchell. Okay. Bree Mitchell says, and this is, her name is @Bree_Mish. Doesn't affect my support, but I've already gone over my feelings, and I hope this can get diffused soon. Really don't want to be still talking about this when the debate rolls around. Hey, Bree, is it Bray or Bree? Brad Michelle or Bree Michelle?
Bree, probably.
I feel you too. Once again, though, this was kind of directed so much at two people. She's going to be on stage with on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, do we have a flyer for Wednesday? Or can we show it? We'll talk about it after. On Wednesday, we're going to be doing the debates with our good friend...
Lauren Steiner.
Lauren Steiner from the Robust Opposition. And we're going to also have William Moses Somerville. I said his name right, my man. He's going to come on up from the OC. We're going to have a panel of 4. So the hell with MSNBC. You don't have to watch it on their channel. You don't even have to go to the TYT anymore. You don't have to look at Cenk and Anna. You can look at me. Much better than Cenk. And I don't want to talk down about Anna, but Fee is like fly compared to Anna.
Stop.
And we got William there and Lauren Steiner. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to be reaching out to some activists and some independent media people across the country to get a little insight about what's going on.
Awesome. Okay, so the next tweet is, she is consistent regardless of pressure. The people who lauded her for doing the hard thing to meet with Assad now condemning her for civility to Biden.
Yeah.
So again, that's the same kind of mentality. Let me see which other ones, because we have a lot.
Danny Moody, what about that one?
This one. My vote was don't care at all, but really I agree with her comments and support them. I absolutely despise Biden, but he needs to be criticized in other more recent substantiated ways, in my opinion. Yeah,
Recent.
I agree.
Don't go back to 1977 for political gain.
Right.
Cherry picking.
Yeah, and there's more. He can literally be done based on what he's done recently through policy and through the stupid comments he's made and the interactions he's had. Like you don't need to just literally just go back there and rile shit up. And I agree with that point.
Hold on one second. I just want to say, because we got 47 people on the Common Couch YouTube.
Thanks for watching.
Who else is new in here? Nicholas Lawless jumped in. That's great. And Satvik Anturi is there. And Senator Stern. Thank you so much for coming on over. We have a ton of people still over on the MCSC.
Is Senator Stern a senator?
I don't know. Brent Showers and Dylan just jumped on in. Vespa's there. Leon Powell is still holding on, giving all those comments. We got some people over on the Facebook. Fam, let's get to the next tweet.
Okay, and I do care. My take is that Tulsi is telling us who she is. We need to listen. I don't agree, but I respect Tulsi for stating her truth. And that's
Can we put that one up real quick? I mean, isn't it like, I said that she's, and I don't want to compare it to Donald Trump, but maybe this candidate that will say anything that's on her mind, there'll be no strings attached.
I don't even think so, though. I think she's very measured in what she says, usually.
Yeah, but I don't think she has any restrictions. I don't think she has people telling her what to do and what to say.
No, she doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think her campaign people are going to grab the phone out of her hand. Like,
right.
she's what Tulsi tweets is what Tulsi. What's with the TWs? What Tulsi tweets is what Tulsi thinks. You know what I'm saying? It's not fake. It's not done by. When Kamala Harris puts a tweet out, there's a freaking staff. There's a campaign manager. There's all these people looking at it. Not Tulsi.
Mickey J. Hall says Tulsi is being consistent. The media and even leftists have criticized her for being willing to talk with Assad and Trump to seek peaceful resolutions. She also knows what it's like to have a past that doesn't reflect her present. I think she's focused on the issues and not smears. Again, that's a very...
Look at the person, Trey 7 underneath, though. And once again, he said, damn, I voted bad tweet on instinct because I've been saying it all day. Actually, I don't care at all. You know what I'm saying? But when we see the initial tweet, we jump. We panic. We go crazy. Some of the people were just, like you said, they're just waiting in the bushes. I told you. Tulsi.
Finally, something wrong with her. Yeah, they've been waiting.
They've been waiting for it.
I really liked Leah's tweet.
Leah Hardikin, right?
People have been taking it as her supporting or condoning Biden, which is not what she did. I've read her tweets so many times now, thinking I missed something. She chose not to attack Biden because politics requires civility. Bernie also does this, but she's getting blowback. That's another thing we wanted to point out. Bernie does this all the time.
Yeah.
And so does AOC. AOC was reaching out to Ted Cruz. She was talking about working together. People who are successful do reach across the aisle in that way. That does not mean they are going to give in and, push segregationist legislation like Joe Biden. That doesn't mean that AOC is going to say, oh, yeah, let me work with ICE agents.
Johnny,
no,
Johnny's got to get on this. What'd you just say, Johnny? Say this, please. What'd you say, Johnny? Here's
Yeah, just
Johnny.
because she says that, it's not just she's not just become a racist overnight.
Yeah, I know,
It's like,
right?
what?
No, just because she said, now it's like, oh, she's a racist. I told you she was a racist.
No, you've thought she was. You've been pushing that idea for a long time, and now you have an excuse.
And every single time we argued it, every single time we talked about it and stuff like that, like, once again, the whole Modi thing just blows my friggin' mind. Like, she went over there to meet with him. And then she met with the adversary, and you still want to say, oh, she's supporting Hindu nationalism. At the same time, Barack Obama went over and met him, too. As well.
Obama had more of a bromance with him than Tulsi ever did, which is really interesting.
Trump and Netanyahu have a bromance with him because there's weapon sales there and stuff. And once again, I'm not going to support everything that Modi does, but I'm going to look at statistics. And when I see poverty numbers just dropping, I got to think twice about it. It's been split down the middle from the Indian people I know. A lot of people say that, he is a Hindu nationalist, fascist of sorts. And some people say that's bullshit, that, the people of India voted for him over 400 million votes because he helped the poor and he saw through their lies.
Which is interesting because that kind of sounds like Venezuela.
Yeah.
And you all have to look at both sides of the information, right? We all have to look at both. Sorry, I wanted this one right here.
Which one? Rattle Shark?
Yeah. So this is Verm.
Oh, yeah, that's the good Assange.
Obdurate. Okay, so Tulsi gets a lot of leeway from me because she's consistently right where everyone is frequently wrong. So my gut assumption is that I'm misunderstanding what's being said. So it's interesting because she is consistently right. I mean, she's been pretty much right on every single freaking issue up until this point. How does one tweet, literally a bad tweet, no one's denying that, but how does one tweet all of a sudden, if you were such a supporter of Tulsi, say, oh, I'm not supporting her? And even if you're not a supporter, even if you're, you support Bernie, and if you're going to go out of your way to trash her for one tweet, it's hypocritical because everybody has had tweets that we don't agree with or bad tweets that are just wrong.
But what do you say to those people who say, fam, it's not a bad tweet. It's being insensitive to people of color. These were segregationists, and Joe worked against them, and she's supporting that rhetoric.
I agree that it's insensitive. I agree that she didn't measure how it was going to be perceived, especially to not just people of color, Black people in America in particular. So, and I 100% agree that it was a bad tweet. I don't think it was meant to praise. She nowhere is praising actual segregationists or racists. She's actually the ones who said that they liked her. She said, I don't support you or your bigotry. She's constantly completely alienated herself from them. Yeah. And I think that's not a fair point to say she hasn't.
Just getting back to the Convo Couch YouTube, we have over 50 people, and my man, Armin, I can't even say his name
Nico,
right.
why are you calling us?
Nico, stop calling us. We're working. Armin Menagonian. Armin, you have to call me one day and help me say your name. But I talked about a lot with Modi with Armin, and Armin can explain a lot of stuff. I loved your insight, Armin. It was great. Keen James is over there. James Roguski's in here, Johnny. James Roguski, join up. James Roguski, if you haven't seen James Roguski's work, he's got a lot of great stuff over there. Go ahead and follow him. Follow his YouTube. Keen James, Jojo Kitty. We're over 50 on the Convo Couch YouTube. We want to continue to make that grow. So on the MCSC network, where we have 309, Darren Alevi, where the hell you been? The whole freaking stream's gone, and Darren Alevi hasn't been around. We've been waiting for you, man. And Dylan Resnick, where were you guys? You're late to the party. Next time, click, hear the bell, get on over there. Convo Couch YouTube. Anybody up on the Facebook real quick? Melissa Michelson has joined in. What's up, Melissa? We got your shirt coming. Oh, for our patrons, we have your Convo Couch shirts coming. And friends of the KDEM convention, we have your shirts coming. So I need to get your addresses. The fam and I have got some shirts on the way. They'll be here in the first week of July, and they're going to be awesome. We're going to send them out to you. And we're also going to send one special guest a coffee mug, fam. So, yeah, we got a lot of treats on the way. Join the Convo Couch today. Fam, let's get another one before we get on out of here. Let's pick a good one, though.
Okay, this one.
You like the Rattle Shark one?
Yeah.
Let's get the Rattle Shark guy up there.
People are so caught up in the hate politics, they lose sight of the big picture over a single tweet. That in itself. This Tulsi, the last thing Tulsi needs to do is get bogged down in mudslinging politics. She needs to stay focused on policy debate. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I think she could have done without saying anything at all. I think sometimes the best thing is to, stay silent. But I do agree, like, people are putting way too much stock in a tweet, especially a lot of, unfortunately, Bernie supporters who, I am a Bernie supporter myself, and I do not like that that they don't realize that she's on the same side as Bernie. She is not in his way in any way, shape, or form. Elizabeth Warren is the one that's in his way and the one that's the biggest threat to him. And you have seen that. As I don't know if you've looked at the news, but that's actually verifiable that she is his biggest threat.
And I love it. I love his little picture up there. He's got Godzilla at Rattle Shark. You see that? That's really, really good. Fam, you want to do one more before we get on out?
Yeah. Cali girl Bernie. I don't like it one bit, but she still surpasses all the other candidates except for one named Bernie. So this, she's still like, I don't like it, but hey, whatever. Like, she's still good on policy.
I love the sick as BS at anti-bullshit poll. Great one. She was right. They're bringing it up to score political points. Where's the lie? Yeah. I mean, really, that's, well, I don't think the lie is there, but I think Joe Biden did coddle. Mm-hmm. And once again, listen, we talked to Norman Solomon. I can't stand freaking Joe Biden. And believe you me, if Tulsi Gabbard gets the president, Joe Biden is not getting a job on her staff, guys. She doesn't like him either. She's just pointing out the tactics in which these Democrats use, these establishment Democrats use, and all their minions and their followers use the same tactics on social media, is to just attack you on bullshit and stay away from policy. It's all about feelings and virtue signaling and stuff. No, we're about policy,
What's up,
policy. She's on the phone with Nico, and
I can't hear you. What?
We're going to get on out of here.
Huh?
Here, put it in the microphone. Put him on speaker.
Are you calling me? He might have butt dialed me.
He might have butt dialed you. Fam, we're gonna get on out of here, but I want to play a game. I want to see the audience real quick. I got a question for you. Let's guess Fam's favorite drink. Okay, real quick. What is Fam's favorite cocktail? Go ahead, hit it in there. Hit it in the comments right now. Fam's favorite cocktail. You want to give us a hint what your favorite liquor is?
My favorite liquor? Well, I'm a bot, so
vodka. Vodka. What is Fam's favorite cocktail?
Bot.
Really quick, take a guess. Johnny, take a look at the MCSC one, or which one you want to look real quick? On Facebook. Oh, wait, Melissa Michelson said Pisco Sour.
No, I like vodka more than Pisco, but I make a killer Pisco Sour, although Todd Jones makes an awesome Pisco Sour, as does Melissa.
Somebody taught him, right?
That's like my second favorite one, I'd say.
Guys, you guys got a guess over here? Let me take a look at the Bloody Mary, Fam.
I do love Bloody Marys. You know
Not
that.
your favorite, though.
No.
Somebody said Mojito.
I do
That's
love
mine.
I
That's
love
Pasta's
that,
favorite.
but that's Pasta's
Pasta's favorite is the marijuana. Yeah. Wait, here's one.
Mojito's too sweet.
Gamaro Gonzalez said Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Russian vodka.
It's not on purpose. I do like me some vodka.
Some people, Roberto on our channel said Moscow Mule. Good job.
Nice.
Couple people said vodka Coke. Ooh, disgusting.
Ew.
Red Bull and vodka. Everybody's laughing over there. Armin, cognac. We love you, Armin. Peach margarita. That is definitely not vodka. That's disgusting. You can make a peach Bellini, baby. Somebody said Mai Tai. And Toots RR1 just said vodka. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for joining us on this Sunday live stream. We want to thank you for coming over to our Twitter. This Wednesday, we'll be joining
Lauren Steiner
and the Robust Opposition.
Opposition.
And William Moses Somerville will be covering the debates, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's funny because Lauren is a very pro-Warren, in her way. We all like Bernie, but she likes Warren, and we like Tulsi. So it's going to be interesting.
Let's be honest. She just thinks that Warren shouldn't be lumped in with the faux aggressives like the Kamala Harrises. She hates Kamala, that's for sure. And all those Cory Bookers, those booty gigs. Which the one thing that's great about Lauren and us is that we agreed right off the bat that Mayor Pete could be public enemy number one. We got to watch out for that guy.
He's one of those. He
will not be on the stage on Wednesday. However, his twin brother, Beto O'Rourke, who John loves his Spanish, right? We had a clip. We were on the floor of the convention, and Beto started speaking Spanish, and John was like, "What the fuck was that? You're desecrating my language over here."
As if Johnny can speak it much better.
He can speak it better than Beto. Beto was just disgusting. But anyways, this Wednesday, join us, and remember, we have a Convo Couch YouTube a Patreon down below if you got a couple bucks to spare. If you want to send us some other money. Otherwise, eventually we'll be ready for the super chat and all that stuff. But please help us out because we're going to take the finances that you give us and put them into action just like we did at the convention, fam.
Absolutely.
Right? And this Wednesday we're going to do some more stuff.
And
For the Convo Couch, I'm Pasta Jardula.
I'm Fiorella. Thank you guys for watching.
Johnny Tsunami.
Combo out.
Late.